Well, hello there. Hello, and welcome to the stream. I'm Andy Arconix, Asteragon, Alu the Crow, and very many names. Jay, thanks for the 1 bit. I appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? How are we doing? How is your week going so far? It is Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. Welcome on in. Hopefully you're all doing well. We're just vibing here. Starting off stream. Getting a little into it. What a good time indeed, chat. What a good time indeed. Now, we are going to be working on Crows Against Humility all night. Of course. And then a little later, we'll see where we get to. Because I think I figured out something with Signal R. Specifically, Signal R hubs and groups. And how we can assign different groups per hub. So I'm going to go and take a look into that as well. Kathy, what's going on? Look at all those dumpies, eh? What is going on, everybody? Ow! Keo, what's going on? How are we doing? I hope we're all doing well, though. How's your week going? You enjoying yourselves? You having a good time? Ow! Good, dancing and playing SAR? Nice! But chat, we've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of things to do. Especially if we want to be beta testing by Sunday. So that's what we're going to try and get to. Now, of course, some of the things that we have to work on... Fluffy, what's going on? Chat, of course, if you haven't heard of them, go and check out Fluffy. They are an incredible artist and a good friend. Go and check them out. You're shitting and farbing? Yeah. I feel for you. But chat. We've got a lot of ground to cover and a lot of work to do. You're working, Keo? Keo, I'm sending you hugs and love. But chat, one of the big things that we should be working on here, well, two of the big things that we're going to be working on here are going to be, one, of course, setting up the hubs in Signal R so that way we can actually have different game rooms with a maximum size of 10. And then on top of that, we're going to try and get the Randall Cardrisian mode to work. So that's what we're going to focus on for the most part of this week. And then the second part of this that we're going to be trying to work on is the direct interface with Twitch. So that way we can get bits and we can get channel point redemptions working as well for Crows Against Humility. Now, the third thing and the hidden thing that I want to talk about is going to be the word filter. Now, of course, we are going to be filtering cards by default towards, I think, Twitch's moderate setting. Maybe they're low setting, but I'm thinking more towards their moderate with just a list of words by the ADL and some other associations that, you know, are attributed with hate. Then we're going to try and get those loaded into a file in a regular expression suited so that way we can search through the cards as we go and load them to make sure that none of them are... carrying those. And the way we're going to go about and do that is we're going to establish a filter beforehand per query. And we'll just automatically do the default filter. And then what'll happen next is we'll add an additional filter on queries. So that way, if you want to specify extra words, you can. But really, that's kind of the whole idea there. We're just trying to filter out terms that may not be appropriate one way or another. Ski, the cute frog, coming on in with a raid. Thank you so much. I appreciate the raid. Ski, how's it going? How are we doing? Stank Crow, get out of here. I ain't Stank. What's going on, Ski? Give Ski a shout out as well. Chad, if you haven't gone and followed Ski, go and give them a follow. They're an amazing artist as well, and actually quite a sweet person. Plus, also a cute frog. Go and check them out. And same thing with Keo. Why are you saying good omens to me, Crow? Dang it. How Dadre? No. Lucy disabled emote only for this room? Lucy seems to be having a fun time. Shy, what's going on? How are we doing? Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in, Raiders. And again, chat, if you haven't checked out Ski, I highly recommend you go and check them out. Also go and check out Lucy when you get a chance to, and Shy, all streamers. But chat, we have things to work on, we have things to talk about, and we have a lot of stuff to do. Now, granted, I'm glad I didn't go to TwitchCon, otherwise we'd be super behind work, but seeing all the things that have come out of there, the ableism, the rank, neglection of charity. Lucy, thanks for the 9 months. Oh, would you look at that? We have a sub baby together, Lucy. How do you feel about that? Huh? You hate me, have your money, raw crow soup. Ow, that hurt. And here I am giving you the hard eyes. God damn it. Chat. My friends are something else, aren't they? Yeah, let's take off the hat. Ow! Vampire J, that hurts. But chat, we've got a whole lot of stuff ahead of us, and we have so little time. But everything is going well. And life is going well. Now, if you're in the Discord, you'd have noticed that we've entered into a partnership with Best Buy, as the Omen done, and a few other partnerships as well. I highly recommend you go and check out the Discord. We have... K-O-Y. Why? Gecko. But yes, chat. We've entered in a partnership with Best Buy, and we have a couple of other things coming down the pipeline too, but we'll go and see where they're heading. But realistically, come and check out the Discord sometime. Come and join. Hang out with us down here. We have a lot of fun. A lot of enjoyable times. And the other thing, of course, that I want to keep in mind is that the Omen Den in and of itself is its own business. We do a whole lot of stuff. Mostly focusing on the .NET development. Which is what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be doing more Blazor development on our application Crows Against Humility. Now, granted, this is a totally free application that we're doing, of course, because it would go against pretty much everything we stand for if we didn't provide some modicum of freeware as well as software education, but there are going to be some other things that we're going to do. Now, granted, a few life updates. Number one, I'm fully moved up into my new place in Traverse City. I love it up here. It's been so far so good. We enjoy it a lot. It's actually pretty neat. It's a small town, which is interesting in and of itself, but, you know, it's nice. Cherry capital of the world. Number two, your boy is in a relationship. Which is fascinating in and of itself, too. I didn't think that would happen, but here we are. I know, it has nothing to do with coding, but, your boy's happy. I don't think I've been this happy in a long time. And I can definitely tell by the state of my last house. I talk a lot about, mental health and concerns for other people, but for me, as I was moving out of my last house, I realized just how depraved it was and how unkempt it was and just how much work there had to be done for it to be kept up. Like, we're talking about dual deep cleaning. Like, it was disgusting. And I had let myself go in so many ways for so long. Thanks, Shy. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Gecko. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Lucy. Thanks, Ski. But I just want to let you know. We happy that the Crow Man is happy? Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how things are going to be turning around. One of the big reasons that I think I power through a lot of it is just because of this sick notion in my head that the show must go on, right? Which is true. The show must go on. For a lot of people, this is a job. And for me, software development's a job, but it's also my passion. And I was starting to let other things get in the way of my passions. And as part of that, you know, I lost passion for gaming, and I didn't want to lose that for anything else. And I certainly didn't want to lose the feelings that I had for my friends. Thanks, Gecko. Have a wonderful night. Sending love to you as well. And so before we get into coding, because to me, coding is part of an extension of my being now. I love coding. I love software. I love software development and software education. That is a huge passion. And I could feel myself starting to lose that too. And I don't want to be in that point again. So thankfully, you know, I've been working out on that with therapists and things like that. And now actually having not just the support of my friends and a lot of people who are close to me, but actually also someone I can confide into as well. Which that's a whole other interesting story in and of itself. I didn't think I was going to be good for anybody else, but I'm working hard on this. I want it to work. So enough about me. Hopefully you're all doing well too. And if you're not, I just want to let you know that, you know, we here at the Omen Den are here to support you. We'll love you until you can love yourself. That's the whole point. We're here for each other. We're all in the same struggle. We may have different ways of getting there, but we're here for you. So chat, I know it's been a minute. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and think about some things. With so much going on, and so much hate being spread out, especially against marginalized communities such as the trans, non-binary, and gender questioning communities, we need to consider the amount of support that we give to each other and just how we go about caring about each other too. Check in on your friends. Tell them you love them. Be there for them. And now, time for some plugs. Because of course, you know, as I mentioned, the gender questioning, non-binary, and trans communities being under extreme hatred. Let's talk about Mermaids. Mermaids being a charity in the United Kingdom dedicated to trans, non-binary, and gender questioning youth. Now, I know if you're somebody in the United Kingdom, you know that Mermaids has been under constant attack from the Tories, as well as just unfortunate gender criticals. And if you don't know what a gender critical is, imagine a TERF, because that is literally what they are, and they fucking suck, all right? They are definitely going to be responsible for the death of millions of children. Well, maybe not millions, but definitely a lot of children. Can't put a number on it because I don't have all the facts in front of me, but fuck TERFs, all right? And one of the ways you can stick it to them is by donating to a charity like Mermaids. If some of my friends who I grew up with had the support of Mermaids, of a charity like Mermaids when they were younger, they could still be here. Or they wouldn't be suffering as much as they are now. So we support Mermaids here. We support any trans, non-binary, and gender questioning youth charity, but specifically Mermaids now because they are definitely under attack, an unprecedented level of attack, and I highly recommend you go and check them out, !charity or !mermaids, to go and find out more about them. I highly, highly, highly recommend you can do whatever you can to spread their message, as well as donate if you can. And the other thing is, of course, in a time where, you know, there are other marginalized communities as well at risk, we are supporting organizations such as Girls Who Code to get more people into software, because more perspectives into software and software development means we produce better, more worldly software. So I highly recommend you go and check that out as well. And the reason for that, of course, is because it's part of the Omen Den's mission statement to make software that is more accessible to people, crossing gender expression, identity, cultural, and just informational lines, right? We want to help make software much more worldly and more friendly on the global scale. That is the whole goal of our process here. So we have a lot of work to do in that sense, and Girls Who Code can help get us to that next step. Obviously, we're not perfect, but it's all about getting to the next step, about making things better for the next people. So that's what we're going to try and do as well. That's another reason why I love streaming coding, and another reason why I love coding in general is because I think it's a great platform to actually teach people just different things, different concepts, etc. And being in this industry, we definitely need more perspectives from more communities to help make our software better. So those are my 2 plugs for the charities that we're going to go into. But the work for today that we're going to do is we're going to start interfacing more with SignalR. We're going to go and take a look at how we can actually go and create groups for SignalR, and we're going to go and try and learn from that as well. And what SignalR is, so Blazor, which is the development platform that we're working with, Microsoft's answer on the web for getting C# out there alongside HTML. It's an improvement on the Razor component. Actually, it is an improvement and an extension. What we're going to be doing, you know what would help? Is if I actually stuck true to my word, right? There we go. That should help. I'm surprised they didn't come to remind me. But chat, so one of the big things that we're going to be working on, of course, is going to be SignalR. SignalR is going to be this real-time communication layer using WebSockets between the app on the server and the client side of the application, right? So the side that you and I will interact with. So this will be how we actually control gameplay and we manage state in between each client and how we can send updates to each client, right? So it's kind of well-suited for this design. You'll see a lot of tutorials online when it comes to SignalR and using SignalR, for example, in Blazor, by using a chat app, which we already have integrated. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take the chat app one step further, and we're going to segregate it off into groups. So that way there's a global chat and there is a room-based chat, right? So the global chat, anybody can talk to each other. The room-based chat, only members of that particular group can talk to each other. So only members of that particular game. And the reason why we're using SignalR is because it's pretty damn quick and it's actually really easy to work with. And one of the best things about it, again, is that it provides real-time updates via the underlying connection. And Blazor server in and of itself depends on the SignalR connection. And that's how the client and the server application communicate between each other. That's how a user interaction with their client gets processed and updated on the server, and then the information from the server gets processed back to the client. And that's also why we have things like response compression, etc., so that way we can control how much data is sent in between. Now, when it comes to Crows Against Humility / Cards Against Humanity, what that is going to entail is, of course, going to be just the idea of playing cards and updating the board state so that way we can see when cards are played and eventually when all cards are played, let alone triggering things like shuffle animations or read-offs, etc. Because we want to make sure that this is all done in real time so that way people aren't just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and because that's a bad user experience. We want to make things as good for the user as possible and as accessible for our users as possible. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to go and try get our hubs figured out, get our groups figured out, and then we're going to see if we can manipulate our groups to the point where we can actually start taking a game state and working with that. So one of the other things that we've worked with, of course, is going to be the game builder side of things, where we actually go and build a crow game, or, well, a card game, if you will. But here, this is incredibly important that we actually go and get this whole system down so that way we can continue to play and we can actually have our demo readily available on Sunday with hopefully a few communities who can play it either all at the same time or at different times. It doesn't matter as long as they can play it and they can't see what happened before. So, with that being said and all that work being done, what we should probably do is A, change our playlist, B, get into it, and C through Z, learn. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna jump a little bit out of order, but you know, it is what it is. And I'm kind of feeling some covers tonight. So what we're going to do, let's go. And let's go and do this. It'll all get done. So yeah, right? All right, chat. So let's see here. We're in Crows Against Humility. I've added a API configuration worker, but we'll come back to that. So as you might be able to see, we're trying to do client configurations and things like that too. Mr. Alu, what's going on, Lucy? Give me a ton of shit, but I'm a good dude. I appreciate that, Lucy. I give you a ton of shit, but you're a great friend. In fact, I think that's why I give you a ton of shit. On and I said. All right, so chat. Let's go and try and understand this, right? Let's go and see where we left off. Because one of the big things, I'm so happy that you found yourself in a better place and you're getting there with your mental and emotional health. Always here for you, dude. I appreciate that, Lucy. I really do. And I know you are. I've seen it. You've definitely demonstrated that. So, chat, here's the app so far. As you can see, we have Crows Against Humility set up the way it is, right? And we have our card, our play area, our background that moves. We'll probably go and change this up a little bit, but then we also have our build version, the company name, we have how it's secured, etc., etc. We have the side menu for rules and such. You know, we can add cards and things like that too. But really what we're going to try and do, we'll probably go and, well, I do like this, so. What the whole point of this that we're going to do here, right, is so if I go and I enter, for example, Alu the Crow. Hey, Dragon, thanks for the resub, bud. I appreciate it. Oh, I wonder why my sub alerts aren't working. We'll get to that. I should have checked that beforehand. I thought they were working. Dragon, thank you for the 4 months at tier 1. Thank you so much. Alu, I hope you're doing amazing. Keep it up with the grind. I'll do my best. But thank you so much. How are you doing? What's going on? Can we get a shout out to Dragon too, please? If not, I'll do it. There we go. Go check out Dragon. All right, chat. So, if I go and add Alu the Crow here, right? One of the big things that we want to make sure that we're doing is we want to go and have this check against the Twitch API that this exists, and then show a, well, an exclamation point there, right? So if I were to go and add this as ski, Same thing. All right. What we would have is we would have a check mark and a check mark saying that these are validated, right? Or if we added in the discount, or not discount, if we added in the Discord, so I think mine is Arconics hashtag 7236, right? All right, Alu, works for you being busy, working too much? I feel for you. Man, they sound lame. Nah. So if I added Arconics, right, this would go out and validate, and we would just get a check mark next to Alu the Crow. So that's kind of the idea here. That's what we're trying to build up to when it comes to players to include. And this is what I mean by verify players on join. Is that we're first here, what we're going to do is we're going to go and verify that this is an actual Twitch name. And then when we say verify players on join, we'll match them against the Discord and Twitch API just to ensure that, you know, they're the players that we actually wanted. So essentially what we're building here is a private group that we're going to use in the Signal R side of things. And we're going to validate against that every step of the way, and kind of a way to just ensure some security, right? Because that's going to be something that we want to understand here, is that when you do groups in Signal R like this, you have to manually provide your own level of security, right? And so that's why I want to try and make this as difficult as we can to stream snipe. Ski is amazing and talented. I agree, Dan. What's going on, Dan? How are we doing? Welcome on in. So we got that. The other thing that we have is, of course, the ability to add random packs. And as you can see, we're doing this asynchronously, so it'll load itself up and parts of the UI will be available, so we can still do stuff like that. And you'll notice that, hey, it takes a little bit to load. It's going to compile, query, search it up, and then we'll actually go and grab the cards from it, which is pretty cool. I really like seeing this. And of course, we'll work on the search part, but this is neat. And you can see the estimated cards that we're playing with. And so another one of the big things that we're going to have to work with, see, check that out. How cool is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So notice I took off the adding 5 random packs. Hey, Caden, thank you so much for the 9 months. Let's go. We have a Twitch baby too. What's going on? Thank you for the 9 months. I appreciate it. At tier 1, Caden, what's going on? Let's go and also make sure we get Caden a shout out as well. Because if you haven't checked out Caden, I suggest you go and check them out. They're pretty awesome. They're pretty good artists as well. They've done a lot of our channel emotes as well. They've also helped bring Asteragon to life. Hello, you're subbed to like February? Hey, I appreciate that. I'm close to a hype train. Nah, that's probably not going to happen now with 5 seconds left, but still, that's dope. Thank you all. But yeah, chat, we've done a lot of work so far, and I think it shows. And I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, how cool is it to just say, okay, add all official packs, have it load, have the count increase as time goes on? Like, how cool is this? Like, to me, that's cool as shit. All right? Like, I'm particularly proud of this. Like, sure, it may take a minute to do, but as soon as we're done with it, it looks so neat. Like, this is so cool. So. I mean, look at that. Estimated cards, 4661. So. Gecko said, Avatar, great movie. Not show, but movie. Was Gecko talking about the blue ones? How dare, yes? Oh. That's fine. I don't see what the big deal is. Okay, so then the next thing to do that we want to do here, as I was talking about, is taking a look at our hubs, right? Nope, not blue ones. Oh. So you'll notice that I started creating a Crow game hub, right? The Abomination That Shall Not Be Named. No, the movie was terrible. The Avatar The Last Airbender movie was garbage. Avatar the Alien movie, that wasn't so bad. I haven't seen it in probably a decade. I don't know. When did it come out? Because that's the last time I saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw it once. So one of the big things that SignalR allows us to do is it allows us to create typed clients, right? And so part of the ability to create typed clients allows us to actually go forth and work with methods underneath, right? So what we can go and do is we can go and define certain methods that this Shyamalan movie you'll watch, our reviews, that rip it to pieces. I just have no interest in watching it again, ever. Oh, right. Got tentacled. That is in character for Kathy. So one of the big things, the other thing that we need to keep in mind when it comes to SignalR and just manipulating it is the general idea that we have here to just, well, let's see. I'll show you once we get there. Now, here's the other thing that we could do, right? Is we could also work with Blazor WebAssembly as opposed to Blazor server. But I don't really want to, chat. Does that make sense? Because that's just how it's going to be. And if I don't want to do it, then goddamn it, I'm not going to do it. But yeah, part of this that we're going to be working on, of course, is still going to be just working with this idea of hubs, trying to get hubs to go and do as we want them to. And using, for example, the Crow Game Hub and things like that is going to be just necessary to do. Now, Nostalgia Critic's review of Last Airbender is hilarious. I actually have a picture of me meeting Doug Walker. And his brother. So, anyway, one of the big things that we probably want to do is we probably... how do I put this, chat? How do I go about this? Because this is something that's going to take a moment. Because we need to consider some things, right? And one of the big things that we need to consider is, of course, hubs. I know I keep saying this over and over and over. You would love to see that picture, OMG? I'll try and pull it up. It's somewhere. I know it's on Facebook. I'd show my Facebook, actually, but I don't wanna. Alright, so why don't we try an amateurish attempt, okay? Why don't we try and figure something out here. So let's go and try and do this. Private, static, read-only, dictionary, string. And then here, Facebook, who uses that nowadays? Ya boy. And why don't we try, and instead of doing a string here, let's see, can we do a twitchlib.api? Still uses it too? Oh, right. That core. What is it? Helix users. Okay. Well, then I guess we'll just do string of string for now. And we'll just call this usernames. I'll just make this a new dictionary. We'll new it up. And we'll give it a base of 10. All right, and this should satisfy one room, right? And so part of what we want to do is kind of like what we have in our previous example. We would probably want to do public async task, send message, but in this case, we'll do string username, string message. And here we can do await clients.all.send async. Username, message. And so we can do something like that, right? And keep it nice and silly. And all this will do is it'll function similarly to the chat app that we have, the chat that we have. But we want to do something a little bit more advanced, right? We don't want to just send a simple message. Instead, we want to do things like play card, draw card, trigger draw card, etc., etc. And so what we should probably be doing, instead of doing that as an amateurish attempt, why don't we try something a little bit more complex, a little bit more complicated, if you will, you know, a little bit more fun. Are you down for a little bit more fun things there, chat? I'm down for a little bit more fun. So why don't we try something like public async task verify user async string username. Okay. So this is where it gets a little interesting. This is where it gets a little fun. And the reason why I say this is where it gets a little fun is because now one of the big things that we can do is we can relate our sessions to our users here, right? And so this is where it gets interesting, because now what we want to do is we want to be able to tie a user to a session and have the username work itself out. So one of the big things that we can do here is, of course, have that there. And here what we'll do is we'll have another one called public async task register user async. And we'll just call this string username. And here we'll do var current ID equals context dot connection ID. And then we'll do if user lookup or usernames dot contains key current ID user names dot triad current ID username. All right. And then within here, one of the other things that we can do is we can go and tell all the other clients So one of the ways that we're going to do is we're going to say await clients.all except our current client that we have our username we can do that. Now, how cool is that? And of course, we're missing some things here, chat. We're missing some things. And we'll fill them out as time goes on. But this is kind of the beginning of what you'll see, is that one of the big things that we want to work with, of course, so now we'll register the user based off of the connection ID. But we want to verify that, for example, the username on join exists within the dictionary, right? So that's where we want to check things out. That's going to be the big key. And this is how we're going to be able to start kicking people out if they aren't part of it. So this is what I'm going to be testing for our beta, is I'm going to make sure that people don't invite me personally, all right? So no matter what game is being played, I don't want to be invited to it. I want to test it. I want to make sure that when I try and log in and I try and stream snipe with my Twitch ID or my Discord ID, that I can't get in to the game. That's the whole point. So the first way we're going to try and do this is we're going to try an amateurish attempt, and that's just simply going to be store the names in a dictionary. If they exist, let them in. If they don't exist, don't let them in. As simple as that, right? And we probably also want to make sure that we're logging the connection as well. So that's going to be something else that we're going to have to do. And then we'll have to go and account for the disconnect as well. But realistically, this shouldn't be too hard to do, because all we will need to do is just essentially say, you know, if usernames dot contains value, username. If it doesn't contain value, current connection ID equals context connection ID. And then we probably want to do context do I not have a way to disconnect? Well, for now, we can just do something like await clients dot all except current connection ID. Send async. Username was not allowed to join. So this is kind of an amateurish thing to do, right? Because we don't really have too much here. I guess one of the other ways we could do is we could forcefully disconnect the circuit, right? So we have the tracking circuit handler, and we could just say, we could call the on circuit closed async and disconnect session, right? So we could go through the session data which could be something that we want to do. So we might be able to, I don't remember exactly how this works. Facebook more like face D's nuts. All right, Kathy. All right, Kaggy. So we could come down through here, right? And we could do, where is it? Disconnect session. On circuits changed. Yeah, we might be able to get away with that. And I think hubs support dependency injection. I don't remember though. If they do support dependency injection, that's pretty sick. If they don't support dependency injection, well, that is unfortunate. Oh yeah, and we probably want to do public override on disconnected async. We'll return the base. Well, we'll await the base here. And we'll do var ID equals context connection ID. Here, we'll just do connection ID. And we'll do if usernames that contains key out var username. So then we can do that. No, we don't need to do contains key. This needs to be try get value. Neato. So we go and do that. And then we'll go and do something like username equals. We could do unknown for now, I guess. Yeah, because this is if it doesn't contain the key, right? Username dot remove ID. So we'll do usernames dot remove current or connection ID. So we do that. Await clients dot all accept connection ID. Dot send, and then we'll just do username, and we'll just say username has left the game. All right, it's pretty simple. Possible null reference. It won't be null by the time it gets down there. There we go. All right, so we got here, right? I don't know why I'm calling this bootstrapping, but let's leave it like that, right? What's the worst that could happen? And we'll just create a new class. This will probably be a static class, or at the very least, some sort of just something that allows us to know what's actually going to be going on, right? That's kind of the idea. And what we want to make sure is we have templates, right? So we'll do something like game message templates. And so we can do public static class. And then here we can do just something like public. Well, we don't want to do staff. We want to do a constant string. And here we'll just start going off on things. Register. Registered. And the other thing we can do, of course, is we can just leave it like that because these are essentially going to be no more than just templates. We could do disconnected. You know, there's a lot of stuff we can do. Right? And we can keep it nice and simple. But realistically, one of the big things that we still want to do here is we want to keep things pretty much as simple, easy, worthwhile as possible. And so part of that is, of course, going to come down to, well, okay, so we have hubs, we have circuits, we have components, we have data. We're starting to fill up a lot here. So maybe, just maybe, we should start doing this either in the services or in the core project. But I'm going to start doing it in the in the services project. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here under the Crow Game Builder. And actually, no, we'll put this in the processing folder, right? And so we'll just say game client. It seems simple enough. And we'll try and make this an internal sealed class. And we'll see where this gets us. Because, again, part of what we want to do is we want to leverage dependency injection so we can go and create these a little bit more dynamically, right? That's going to be the huge thing. We want to make sure that what we can do is we can generate these hubs, or at least these groups, dynamically over the hub, so that way nobody suffers particularly. So this is how we're going to start doing it, but this isn't necessarily how it's going to end up, if that makes sense. The other thing that we need to do is we need to come up with a few different methodologies here, right? So one of the big things that we're going to do, of course, is going to be, let's go and rename this to delegates. And let's go and add a delegate under here. And we'll call this message received, or yeah, we'll call this message received event handler. And then in the models, we'll add event args. And in here, we'll add a message received event args. Okay? So there's a lot of work that we need to do here. Not particularly in this, but we have a lot of work overall to do. This is not going to be an easy undertaking. So for this, we're going to have to take in a public string username, get set, and here a message get set, and then we'll do ctor. And in here, we'll pass in a string username and a string message. And that shouldn't be any surprise. That should be pretty simple. And then we'll come up here and go into our delegate. And we'll just do something Simple. So we'll do public delegate void message received event handler object sender message message received event args e. Did I spell this wrong? RECEI. Oh, fun fact, I'm going to a concert Friday for Five Finger Death Punch, Megadeth, The Who, and Fire from the Gods. Hey, that's dope. I hope you have a great time at that concert. I've seen Five Finger Death Punch before. All right, let's go and copy this out. We'll import that. Neato Burrito. You're so excited for the first time seeing any of those bands? Nice. I'm glad you're excited. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So we got this, which is pretty neat. Now we need to go and actually put these two together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and check this. We'll go and do a, where did you go? Add project reference. And notice we're already hitting it up with the core here. That's great. Also, what did you miss? You stepped away for like 15 minutes for a shower? Hey, hope you had a good shower. You didn't miss anything. We're just creating a game client here. That's all. So, what's going to be special about this? Well, one, this is going to, of course, implement iDisposable, as well as iSyncDisposable. And what we're going to do, we're going to go and implement these, finish that off, Neato Burrito, and then we'll come up here and we'll do a public constring hub URL, and we'll just call this /crowgame. And down here, we'll do a private read-only string hub URL and a private hub connection hub connection. Okay. And so where the hub connection is going to be coming from is it's going to be coming from the Microsoft.signal or Microsoft.ASP netcore at signalr.client package. Now, there's just one problem here, and that is we don't have any of those packages. So let's go and check out signal R. All right, and let's go and install this bad boy. Well, we want to be careful. We want to do Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.signal R. So I'll install this. That should be fine. Where's this package? Downgrade. Oh, it's in here. All right. Let's go and check out our Signal R stuff. All right, we'll go and update. Neato burrito. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, so now we have the hub connection here. All right. And so what the hub connection should do is it should allow us to create new connections based off of users that we add in and just things like that, right? So that's kind of the idea. Part of the other things that we're going to add, of course, is going to be something like private read-only string username, just so we can actually go and get the name. Private bool is started. Right, because we want to go and check the Signal R client, make sure that's started. And then the next thing, of course, is going to be, we probably want some sort of start method. So let's go and do a public async task, start client async. And in here, we'll just go and check and make sure that if it isn't started, we'll go to our hub connection. And we'll create a new hub connection builder with URL. And here, what we'll do is we'll provide a hub URL. And we'll just build it. How cool is that? Now, one of the big things that we probably should do as well is we should probably inject an iLogger. We'll just call it game client. And we'll do that. And we can do logger.log information. Here we'll just say game client. Calling start client async. But instead of doing that, we'll go and do something even sillier. There we go. And actually, we can do name of game client. Pretty simple. And then what we want to do is we want to go and, of course, manipulate and work our way with checking how we're handling things. So there's going to be a lot more to this, but once we get there, we get there. Because keep in mind, what this is all about, what we're trying to do is we're just trying to build a game session, a game client, right? It's kind of the whole idea. So one of the big things that we're probably going to do is we're going to then do something along the lines of hub connection dot on string, and we'll create the action here. And we'll just do, we'll create some sort of message there, and we'll create a delegate for a user, a message. Isn't putting game client redundant when you already have the log scope to game client? Yeah. Yeah, it's incredibly redundant. We can get rid of this. What's going on, APOC Dev? How are we doing? So we can do something like this, and then we can do handle received message, which will go and define user message. We might be able to go and get away with just a method name on this, but we'll see. And we'll go and tell the hub connection to start. And then we'll do another logging statement. Finding AWS Lambda and WebSockets, fun times. Yeah, isn't it? Started game. Oh no, wait. All of our logs already have time included, so that's fine. Started was true. Await hub connection dot send. And then we'll just do that and username. Now, one of the reasons why I haven't done any of the method names yet is because we still need to go through and finalize that. So, wow, we still need to go through and finalize that? That's the dumbest shit. No, we need to go and consider what we're trying to do here. Right now, what we're doing is we're just building out a simple game client, but what we actually need to go and do is we need to actually go and register the game and then have the game essentially sit, listen, and be played. So, let's see. Let's go and create a public event message received event handler message received. Sit, listen, and be played, right? So here, what we can do is now we can go and do a private void handle received message. Pass in username, pass in the message. Message received. Check if it's null. Sounds like a fun time? Yeah, it's a very fun time. Tell it to invoke this. And then we'll create the new event args. See how neato burrito that is? That's pretty neato burrito. There we go. Me to you, you to me. Pretty neat, huh? Not a whole lot else to do here. All right, next. Async task send async message. And then we want to check and make sure that if it's not started, here we want to do a new invalid operation exception. Otherwise, we'll do something along these lines. Oh, so you love this song? Yeah, I love this song a lot. The other thing that we could do here is instead of doing something like this, right? Sorry, it doesn't have that. If we didn't want to throw exceptions, we wouldn't have to, but it would be a little bit more confusing. And I guess the other thing that we want to check out is how do we handle stopping and closing, right? How do we handle this in general? How do we work towards making sure that no matter what we do, we can appropriately stop the connection? right? So that's going to be some other stuff to consider. So why don't we go and create a stop method? And actually, I might want to make it a value task here. And we can do if started. And then we can dispose of the connection. And then we can set it to null. Fire usually works for stopping things quickly. It does, doesn't it? And we can say is started as false. That should be good enough there. And then for this, what we can do is we can just say return stop async. I guess if we really wanted to, we could do logger.log warning exposing game. And then we could do stop async. If we're doing if we're doing async disposable, we don't need the regular disposable. So we can actually just get rid of that. Okay. Okay. So now we have that. We probably want to do a few other things here. Well, one, you might notice that we're missing a constructor. So why don't we do that? And why don't we... I don't really like this, but we can do this for now. We'll pass in a username. We'll pass in the URI. I guess we could say base URI for now. That's fine, I guess. We could do guard from null or white space username. Hey chat, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing you shouldn't do, okay? Here's something you shouldn't do. Remember, when I made the guard class in the shared library, I said some very specific things. I said, use it at the edge of your application's domain. Do not use it as a replacement for your application's domain. And what am I doing right now? What am I doing? I am using it quite literally as my application's domain. So this is a classic case of don't do what I do what I say. Otherwise, we'll go and set and save the username. We'll go and come call our hub URL. And we'll go and put this in some sort of interpolated string. And we'll do that. And we'll just say trim out that particular character. And that should work. And actually, we don't really need to do that, but hey, whatever, who cares? So now we have the constructor. And for everything else, we're going to have to essentially just go and redefine other things that we need. Now, granted, you might be wondering, well, Alu, the hub connection is going to be null, which is fine. we can get rid of our initialization here. And we should actually inject our logger, which we're going to do. Pretty simple. We'll make it read-only. And then what else do we have to do? Hub connection. Yeah, there's other stuff we can do with this, but right now I think we're in a pretty good position, so. You're about to pass out. Well, you need sleep, Fluffy. Fluffy, pass out. Go to bed. And add Monkers. Gaiden, why? But yeah, we got some work ahead of us on this, right? And this is a very basic client. This isn't really how this should play out, the end-all, be-all, if you will. So one of the other things that I want to do is I want to essentially just go back to how we're registering this, right? And so part of it is how do I put this? 1 out of 4 ads, you can't hear shit. What? Are you talking shit? No. We just we need to build and start our hub. And again, this is stuff we're going to be learning together because this isn't anything that I'm particularly experienced with when it comes to this side of SignalR. And puts a giant cartoony hearing aid thing in your ear like a grandpa. Huh? Oh, ads are done? I ain't talking shit. Alright, so where are we at? Hey. Alright, a little bit of a humble brag. Alright, let's go back over here. So what were we going to be looking for? Was SignalR hub with group. You'll beat me up, monkas. Don't beat me up. I'm fragile. This documentation isn't for the latest version of SignalR. I know. Then why does it say it's edited? Ah. Users in groups. Let's go down. Is that Kip? Oh, no. I thought that was Kip from Napoleon Dynamite for a moment. Well. Alright, so. Let's go here. A group is a collection of connections associated with a name. Messages can be sent to all connections in a group. Groups are the recommended way to send a connection or multiple to a connection or multiple connections because the groups are managed by the application. Connection can be a member of multiple groups. Groups are ideal for something like a chat application where each room can be represented as a group. Connections are added to or removed from groups via the add to group async and remove from group async methods. Coming to kick my ass, monkus. Monkers. Okay, so let's see here. We have add to group and remove from group, right? So that's going to be something that we want to do. Streamer of no name, what's going on? We get a shout out to the streamer of no name, please. So that's something that we want to do. Let's go and check out the samples here. Three years ago. Stock tick R. So let's see here. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. Let's go check out the chat sample. Go to hubs. Okay, that's not very helpful. Whiteboard. Let's go to hubs. That's not very helpful. Microsoft. Microsoft. Please. Please help. Please. Ow! What happened? Okay, so we have hubs. We're mapping the hub. Connection. Ow! Get HTTP context. Abort the connection. Oh. Now hold on. Let's come back to our crow game. If it doesn't contain the username, can we do... Can we do that? Hey, yo. This might have some consequences to it. But it might work out to our advantage. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go and check this out then. So clients all caller others also contains group. Send a message to client, send message to caller, send message to group. A drawback of using send-async is that it relies on a string to specify the client method to be called. This leaves code open to runtime errors if the method name is misspelled or missing from the client. An alternative to using send-async is to strongly type the hub class with hub with type T. In the following example, the chat hub client method has been extracted out into an interface called iChatClient. Okay. So maybe we abandon the previous approach where we just set up the whole entire hub connection and we just do it this way, right? And we work with our particularly strongly typed side of things. Unless the client method is with .on my method async, don't use my method async as a name. Oh. Enables compile time checking. Okay, change the name of a hub method. By default, a server hub method name is the name of the .NET method. To change this default behavior for a specific method, use the hub method name attribute. Handle events for a connection. OnConnected groups.add to group async. Context.connection ID. Okay. Then that might be something that we want to do, right? Because then over here, so we have the on disconnected. Ow! God damn it. Ow! So we could do that. That's what I get. That's what I get for what? Shouting you out because you stream? Streamer of no name? A hydrate? Thanks, Dragon. Ow! What the hell? Ow! God damn it. So group, add to group, context.connection ID, signal R users. Okay. So then what we would want to do is override on connected. Context dot connection ID group name. Okay. Okay. So that'll be something to analyze, isn't it? So chat, we add the connection to the group, right? And that's where it gets interesting. So if we go and we add the connection to the group, then we need to go and come up with a group name. Now, what is the group name actually going to be? Well, I think that's where we would come in with a group service, a group creating service for this. So it would essentially be the game room, right? So we would need to do some sort of wrapper for this, I suppose. I don't know. How would we handle this, chat? Because we could do something like public. We could do something like public create game room group async, right? And we would do async task, and we would pass in a string game room name, and we would do await groups dot add to group async context dot connection ID game room name. So if groups dot lobby ID game room works too. Yeah. Well, the point is that we want to be able to call this from the game creation screen and then just navigate to this hub, right? So we could do this. But then we are dealing with this issue of moving here. So we could, well, if we're overriding it, right? Wait a minute. No, I'm an idiot. This won't work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Because that breaks the overriding. But we don't really need this method. So we could do base.on connected async. All right. So that could work. Whoops. Signal our hubs, unconnected methods to manage and track connections. Override the unconnected to perform actions when a client connects to a hub, such as adding it to a group. Right, so this would require a group to be defined beforehand if we wanted to override the unconnected async. So what we would need to do... What's this page? iHub context is sending notifications. It's not used to call. Right. Inject an instance of iHub context in a controller. Get an instance of iHub context in middleware. Well, this is probably something that we're going to want to do anyway, because we're probably going to want to grab it for error reporting. There's no caller associated, therefore there's no access to the connection ID, caller, and others properties. That's fine. From iHost, we don't need that. Inject a strongly typed hub context. This we might need. So we'll come through on that. This is going to be the more important one that we want to do. All right. Groups, sample, perfect. Hubs, chat hub. So async task, add to group. Oh. Okay, so that's how they do it. Neato. That makes a lot more sense then. So... Chat. We have to figure out a more constructive way to handle this. And I'm saying that outright, not because... Well, yeah, kind of because this isn't necessarily my strong suit for SignalR. But I'm thinking that we want to mimic something like this, right? Hold on, chat. Chat, let's take a step back. Okay. Let's think about it. Actually, you know what? Let's go and write this out. Maybe it'll be a little easier after we write it out. Okay, fine. I'll go and update Notepad. Whatever. Sue me. Yes, create the shortcut on my desktop. Just hurry up. Hurry up! I'm that too. It's like the WinRAR buy me prompt. True. Alright. So, this is what we have, right? Stop it, go away. Yeah, I know. Okay, so, this is what we want to do. So, we want to create... Well, actually, no, I want that math back. We want to create a game room. So we need to create a base hub. And in that hub, create a group unique to that game with a max population of 10. So this is going to be the basis. We need to create a base hub, and in that hub, create a group unique to that game with a max population of 10, right? So that means that there can only be 10 players in that group. So we'll have to go and figure out how to do a limitation ceiling on this. So we need to instill a limitation ceiling. Okay. So with that in mind, the next thing that we need to do is we need to handle on connection to hub. 1, verify the group / game the player is trying to join. Or 2, verify the game that the player is trying to create is valid, right? So we need to verify that the group / game the player is trying to join exists. Or that the game that the player is trying to create is valid, right? Because there are 2 cases. You're either trying to join a game or you're trying to create a game. So if you're trying to join a game, then there needs to be a game. If you're trying to create a game, then you need to be creating a valid game that follows all of our business logic. So, of course, business logic val. Okay. Then, our third, well, really, this is 1A. Verify the player is allowed into the game. Verify established username / handle. So you're going to pass some claims when connecting? Kind of. Yes. There are going to either claims or just, I don't know, claim seems a little formal to put onto this, right? Because all we're doing is we're just verifying that the username's within a accepted list of players. So we're just creating private chat rooms. Think of it in Facebook, right? That yeah. You're either killing or being killed. I know, it's just how it is. Okay. So we verified the established username handle. Do you all hate that you're a vampire? No, I actually love that. B. Assign the player a random turn order position. Okay. This step, right? Verify that the game that the player is trying to create is valid. Yes. So validate the business logic. A. Create a read-only store of allowed members. Create a secure. Nope. So yeah, create a read-only store of allowed members, right? So that is going to be. I'd hate to do a dictionary of, right, the connection ID and then the username. But the reason why this works is because the connection ID is guaranteed to be unique, whereas a username may not necessarily be unique. But since we're dealing with Twitch Discord handles, right, then I'm pretty sure they do a pretty good job of keeping them unique. So we'll verify that. The other thing with this, though, is that the username can be more flexible if we make it the value, right? Because then we can, instead of doing, verifying Alu the Crow versus Alucard MG36, right? Or versus Arconix #7326. We can more readily verify the connection ID. That being said, we won't have the connection ID at that moment for somebody to store in a dictionary. We will only have the username. So it might be better to do the username as a key and then figure out some other field, or like the email as a key. I'm not entirely sure. We have to plot this out. Okay. Anyway, so we want to create a read-only dictionary of all the members at that point, because we want the creator of the game to know who they're going to be playing with, be ahead of time, right? We want the max population to be there. And then everything else under it is going to fall under the business validation, which we're going to do using Fluent validation and a business builder. But we'll come up with that in just a moment. The whole point is just trying to get to the point where we can actually go and say, hey, on connected, here you go. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to handle on disconnect. And so here, we want to say generate a hub recovery code. Present the code to the user to rejoin. Now, is this step entirely necessary? No. All this is going to be is essentially just unique URI to paste in. That's essentially all it's going to be. You paste it in, it does the verify, and lets you in. It's pretty simple, all right? This way you don't have to go through the whole process of searching things up. You just go straight to the hub/group, and it's pretty easy. And it'll verify you against the currently allowed usernames, etc. So that way you get disconnected, you leak the code on your stream or what have you, and somebody randomly can't just go and paste that in because their handle won't allow you to do that. You might have to re-authenticate with Twitch, but if your Twitch handle or your Discord handle is not present in the dictionary that we have or in that particular read-only store, then you won't be able to join. So we have these two ideas here. So we have the on connection and on disconnection events that we need to go and figure out. So the idea is to only ever have 10 players connected at once to the server. Not to the server, but to the particular group, right? So the server itself can support, I think, up to 20,000 is on my standard tier Signal R. So I can have 20,000 simultaneous connections. But I want a group limited to a size of 10, right? So if there are, say, 4 games going on, each group will have 10 members. Uh-oh. Sorry, APOC. Nightbot is, it's a little overzealous. Unfortunately, I can't see the message from within Stream Elements, so I have no idea what you said. I'm assuming you probably didn't actually post a link. I'm assuming it was just like a dot and then a word without a space, so it's a little overzealous. You try this again. All right. Break up the message, too. Caden. I don't have Nightbot. But you know what it is? At the point you verified a username room, they should already be connected unless you plan to have each player open-close connections constantly. Well, right. The initial player should be connected, right? That makes sense. So the person who's creating the room should automatically be connected. But it's the other players who are searching for the game. The ones who need to join, they need to create a connection to that particular room. So maybe this should be B. Allow player in the room. Wouldn't they just do something like send message, join room, ABC123 via the hub? It's true. The hub is just a central dispatcher. You won't have 50 instances of your game client hub. Right. We should only have one instance of the hub itself, but we should have various groups within the hub that are created and destroyed. So the issue isn't really with the hub. The issue is with the groups and being able to join a singular group, a particular group. Right, so if the hub is a dispatcher, then the groups, your group is just an implementation detail of your game room, yes. Yes, the group is just a proxy. It's part of the hub, right? Because the whole hub itself contains many groups. So yeah, the group would be the detail. It's a good point. It's a really good point. That's a really good point. So essentially, when you create a room, you also create the group for the messaging. And dispose, etc. Yes, exactly. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, because the hub itself... God, if I say it's singleton, people who are actually good with Signal are going to yell at me. And yeah, it is basically singleton, right? I just don't... I'm doing my best to avoid saying singleton because I know there are some crazy people out there that register their hubs as transient, but you know, we don't need to go out there. That shit's wild, yo. That's way beyond my comprehension. I am just a simple idiot potato. But I do like what you've pointed out there, and that I'm going about this in a much more convoluted way than I need to because of the way I had originally thought about this, right? That the idea here isn't so much... Yeah, we keep the hub singleton. We keep the hub as a single instance, but everything underneath the hub, all the groups, that's where we care. Because we're not creating 50 instances of a hub class. we're creating a group that resides within the hub and adding users into that particular group so they can play the game. Okay. So now we need to think about it in this direction, because obviously the way I've gone about this is particularly not good. So what do we need? And what can I do to make this better? Right? So one of the things that we could do, obviously, is be completely sidetracked from this problem and actually go and just create a page that takes care of part of the issue. Lol. That would be something I would do. That would be a classic anti-move. Get all the front end shit done, and then go and worry about everything else later, right? That can be tomorrow Andy's problem. We got all week, it's fine. Ow! Damn it. Vampire, what'd I do? It hurt. So we could do something like... what do we want to do here? We would say something like... games list? Right? I know I had a code behind file, because why not? Neato burrito. Make this a partial class. Component. Base. I'll implement that. We'll do something like... oh, we'll come back to that, because we're probably going to want a hub context there, but let's go and do this. Page. Games. Let's see, what else can we do? We could, of course, do a... wait a minute. Is there something that I can do that I can pull out all the lists of the particular group, right? Is that a thing? Display all current signal R groups. Getting all group names and signal R. Perfect. Signal R does not have an exposed API for managing groups as a whole, iterating over groups, or even obtaining a summary list of groups. You can only add or remove groups. If you want to persist a list of group names, perhaps use a singleton pattern for your SumHub class. Persist list string of group names in its singleton that you can easily access. You can map both the name and the hash set of connection IDs, though that is probably overkill. Using reflection. Okay, yeah, I don't want to do that. Fuck that. I want to do this. Okay, that's good to know. To call client methods from a different class in your hub class, get a reference to the signal or context object from the hub and use that to call methods on the client or manage groups. The following example stock ticker class gets the context object, stores it in an instance of the class, and stores the class instance in a static property and uses the context from the singleton class instance to call the update stock price method on clients that are connected to a hub named stock ticker hub. Okay. So would I then want to do something along the lines of inject iHub context? Something like that? Well, you probably make it a public thing, right? Is that something that I can do? So if we do that, okay. Hold on, chat. If you need to use the context multiple times in a long-lived object, get the reference once and save it rather than getting it again each time. Getting the context once ensures that SignalR sends messages to clients in the same sequence. I don't need to send messages except join. That's the only one I need to do, is to join the group. Otherwise, shouldn't this be fine? Right? Shouldn't this work out? Because now what we can do... Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna call client methods and manage groups from outside the hub class. Right. So if I do this and I do this, what do you mean? God damn it. That's annoying. Okay. How to use a SignalR context for a hub. It isn't for the latest documentation of SignalR. Shut up. So, we... Right, so that's a singleton instance, right? But do we really care about the singleton instance? Huh? I do have a SignalR service. All right, chat. All right. Wait, what? I was literally just oh my god. Just no. No. Just give me Blazor SignalR, please. I don't want older versions. I want new. The new. You only want to broadcast at a game room, don't you? Or do you really want to broadcast globally? So here's part of the deal, right? I'm sure you've seen this before on forum pages and in other areas. Essentially, what we want is... Oh, I guess I don't need this here. If I'm just going to create a service... Then what I could do is I could just do private list string current games is new. And just give it an initial capacity of 10 because why not? And then we would do something like this, where we would go and say our list view. Text field equals item. Value field equals item. All right, and it would be that simple. So we would do something like that, right? Actually, I forget how the Blazerize list view component works, so gonna have to run to that. Okay. Then we'd want custom item content. Right. So we would want this. And we would do mode equals list group mode dot static. And we would do heading context. And here we would do button color equals color dot primary. We would do size equals size dot small. And we would do context. And I would get rid of that. Yeah, I would get rid of that. Okay, so we got that. And then here we would probably want to do border that is to light on all rounded. Shadow equals shadow dot small. Icon. Name. Icon name dot play. Circle. Join. Okay, so that should work. Text color dot success. And then we would do something like current count or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. We'll just keep it like this. Nice and simple. So we got that. That should be fine. And then I guess we would want to do. How do we want to handle this, chat? I need to figure out a way to handle this. Because we need this to be updated in such a way. Let's see. Let's go back here. So I'll come back down to this in just a moment. But what we want is, so, games view. A list of current groups in the Signal R game hub. Display this list with a button that calls connect to game async and whatever parameters are there. Use some service to do so. So like hub state service, something like that, because right now, as we've seen, and the way this works, the games, the groups in Signal are hidden, right? They're private fields, and they're private because, well, that shit can update at any point in time. So what we need is a way to preserve the group names. So That's going to come down here. Store the group name in a read-only, in a singleton for display on the game's view page, right? Because that's what we're going to need to do. So these two need to work in tandem, right? So we need to be able to create a group and then have that group be displayed later. Okay, and the initial person in the group, when they do a connection, they should be able to see it from the list and select it. So let's consider this. So we want signal R groups .NET 6. God damn it. Book. I don't want to pay for that just yet. Bring your apps to life with Signal R. How to join a group using Signal R. There we go. I'm new to using Signal R, blah, blah, blah. Public void join group, this, that, groups, dot add, this, dot context ID, comma, group name. You can. If you could join a group from JavaScript on anyone. Yeah, I know. I've seen this part. Add to group async. Okay, so that's what we want. Service binding for Azure functions. What? Wait, what? Just in case you come across this question now like I did, here's an example for how to implement an Azure function to support groups. I don't want to work with an Azure function though. I just want to get the group. God damn it. Maybe I'm just looking up the wrong thing. Signal R groups. So if we keep it simple, right, and we come back to the hub, how do we do it here? All right, we just had the broadcast on connected and on disconnected. Yeah, we kept it simple here because this is the goddamn. So here, all right, let's get rid of all this shit. Okay, let's get rid of it all. Let's get rid of it all, and let's come back and let's consider public async task create game string game name. Okay. Send message to group. Right. Well, I'm not doing it in JavaScript. I'm doing it in Blazor. Microsoft, please. Groups. Wait. Wait a minute. Am I also thinking about this wrong? That I can't just new up a group? I think... God damn it. I hate it here. Basically, just want to store a dictionary string in so you can track the number of connections to a room. Right. But it's also just like... How do I put this? Alright, because if I do await groups dot... See how I can't just create a group, right? It's only add to group. I should pay attention to signal R more. Right, so I could do that. Oh. And then we would do, yeah, signal R tracks the group internals. You have to track the active groups externally the way you're doing it. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out how to do. So then we would do something like, hence the dictionary to basically say these are the active groups. Right. Right, so it would be something like a public static. Would it make sense to make it a dictionary, or would I be better off doing a concurrent dictionary? Because then I could do concurrent dictionary. You basically just want the room, the number of connections to it, so you can add and remove that from the game list. Right. Current games. We'll just call it that. Give it a big... Oh, wait. What's in a nude up version of this? Something like that? It's wanting me to do that, right? Good enough. So we got that. If groups dot well, I imagine you avoided as part of validation checks. Yeah, there's probably how the other way we could do it, right, is we could just have all right. We'll approach that bridge in a moment, right? Right now, we'll do wait groups dot add to group async current ID game name. You know what? We'll pass in a cancellation token because why the hell not? I like cancellation tokens. They're pretty neat. When Kitty loves biting you because you need to pick them up, right? I feel you on that, kid. All right, we'll just do this. So we do that. And here we could do, isn't that always a fun feeling? If current games contains key. Okay. Then we would do public const string hub URL equals games, I guess. And then we would do if current games contains key. We would do that. And then we would do current games game name. It's not like I can do that, right? How cool would that be? I don't think I can. I don't think I'll do that. Well, maybe I can. You can do that? Yeah. Neato burrito. So we got that, right? So now if it does contain the key, we add it to the group. So it's almost like, okay, hold on. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Let's think about this again. So the way this is going, right? Or if you don't want to look up the key twice, current games try get value. True. If current games try get value, game name out var Except that's in the wrong area, Andy. Silly goose. God. I swear, some days I shouldn't be allowed to code. Good enough. What is that? Finds that group name. Game name. Send. Neato. That's close. That's close, right? So try get the value. It gets the value, add the group, increment the population, and then tell the group that they joined. And then we would have to... it's fine. Okay. Right? Why does it keep saying stream elements timed you out? Sorry about that, Apoc. Weird, I thought I had it at the maximum amount you can post in Twitch. Yeah, I'll just turn that off for now. It's kind of strange. I've been hate rated before, so I turned on a bunch of protections. So then it would just be removing it from the group, right? Ooh. I would say, yeah, I was gonna say might be worth using a dictionary string, a hash set of string, maybe. Yeah. So you can track actual usernames in the game. Yeah. Hands down, wake up and say, sit still, realize. I'll be fucked up if you can't be right here. That's not a bad idea. Or connection ID, most likely, since you'd have to remove on disconnect versus leave. I do the same. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. The question is, how do I want to handle this, right? So we have current games. This is for display. Someone just closing out, you won't necessarily have their username, right? We want the connection. The connection to user ID or both. Well, if they close out the tab, that kills their connection, right? Because then they have to forge a new connection. You stay. Right? So it would be something like public, read-only, dictionary, string, hash set, string. Yeah, but since you're tracking a number of active users in the game, I'm an idiot. Yeah, you're right. 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 Well, wait. Hold on. Ow! You have to decrement when they leave and disconnect. Right. Wait. So we create the game. We create it with 1. So using the hash set, you just get the count by default as long as you maintain the connection ID list per room. Right. Right. So it would be something like that. Right. And then it would be right. Wow. I say right, and then I do stupid shit like that, you know? Come on. Shape up. And then we can get rid of that. And we can get rid of... No, we would keep game population. Well, no, because then we can just... Well, do we want to keep try get value here? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah, game population add, right? And that should suffice. We pass the username for convenience, but we still maintain the connection there. And then here we would do game so if current games that try get value. Well, we know that's going to work, right? But then we would do not that. We would do game population dot remove, but not this. We would do context dot connection ID. Can even just check the return value of add if you want to say you're already in here. Yeah. That's true. Because then it would just be, I do this. Can I be really silly? I can be. Does this actually do what I want to do, though? True if the element is added to the hash set. False if element is already present. Yeah, it does it. Okay, then we do that. Okay, that's fine. You know, we could invert the logic here. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So that makes sense. Okay, so now that's a little cleaned up. Use an immutable collection. I don't want it though. Kid woke up. What'd you miss? You didn't miss anything. I'm just combining booleans. So we got that. We got that. So that makes sense. So we could do that. Join left. Do that. There we go. That'll work for now. So we got that. So we do this. All right. We create, say we can join. And now we have the population here. But I'm wondering, I don't want to do concurrency level. I just want to do string comparer. Okay, so let's see here. We have the string, right, which is going to be the game name, so that's now exposed. The hash set, which contains the user information, which is really just the connection ID, which is exposed. But I want to do the username because that's what we want to validate against. But if we go over to our circuitry, do I have any way of guaranteeing that this circuit over here, which we put into our session user and details, do I have any way to guarantee that these will be the same? That's a real question. Because if these become the same thing, if they have the same username, or not username, if they have the same connection ID, then hypothetically, wouldn't I be able to now relate these two concepts together, right? So wouldn't I be able to have both the signal R connection ID related to the user here, and then I'd be able to authenticate against the name or the email, right? So this particular circuit, this circuit ID, is there any way I can pull a connection from the circuit? I think there is. Because then I should be able to just go and grab... This is where it gets a little bit more complex, right? So, let's see. Blazor server circuit signal R connection ID. Is this it? I don't think so. Not doing WASM. So, yeah, of course you were. That's fine. Sticky sessions for client, server parity. Right. Signal R scaling a backplane for all signal R clustered. Server and state. Each browser window is a new connection. Right. So then if that's the case, okay, then we just change. Okay. Then we just change this, right? Because then if that's the case, if each browser connection is a new, well, if each tab, so you're playing Minecraft and there's a creeper and a burning skeleton on top of Kathy's house, rip. Okay, let's back up. Let's back up. So, chat. The way I'm understanding this, right? Each browser window is a new session. It is a new connection, Okay, so with that idea, our new connection ID, the way we're currently storing it versus the functionality that we want, isn't going to work out for us if each one is a new connection, because that means that it's going to have a new connection ID associated with it. And what we want, well, we could verify this, couldn't we? Just by simply logging out the connection ID? Aren't we doing that already? Yeah, we are doing that. So, okay. So since it's a new connection ID, then instead of the hash set storing the connection ID, we would have it store the username. And then we would still be able to get the count from it, but never actually store the connection. But we could use the connection within right? So what this would do is we would do something like string username, right? And instead here, we would do username, right? But we would still keep the current ID for the particular group. But this way, if somebody disconnects, closes down the browser, restarts the computer, their browser tab crashes, whatever, and they have to restore the connection, and they get a new connection ID, now they won't be locked out because of that. They'll be keyed to the username that's provided. Right? We still add the current ID, the current connection to the group, but as soon as they leave, we remove the connection. So we would do something like this. And we would do username. And then we would do await clients dot group, or await groups dot remove from group current ID game name. Why did it take me so long to think about it in this way? Some days, man. Okay, so now the hash set will track usernames, and that's what we want it to do. You should add to bed, got a 6 a.m. wake-up call? All right, Caden. Thanks for hanging out as long as you did. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful night, and thanks for the resub. Okay. So maybe this will work out a little bit better, right? So now we're building on this idea. Stores the game name as the key and the username as the value. Also, inspired by APOC Dev 2, 10, 12. Okay, so we got that. Okay. So create game, join game, leave game. That's fine. All right, so come back up here. Receive, disconnected. Sure, that dictionary is going to change forward anyway, since you need to store game state, etc. At some point, but thanks for the credit either way. Yeah, of course. Always credit good ideas. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so now we got that. Good enough. So we got that. Let's get rid of those in the meantime. And current games. So next thing. So let's see here. What else do we need to consider, right? So now that we have groups here. Hello? If only allocating a string once would actually work. But it doesn't. Why did I do that? We want to do something like this. Username created a new game. Good enough. Okay, so create game, join game, leave game, right? So now how do we want to handle this? Do we want to strongly type this out and make an iCrow game? Is that going to be a thing? I'm putting in bootstrapping. It's not going to live here, but I'm putting it here. All right. Concurrent dictionary. String hash set string. One of the times where ReSharper really makes life easy. Yeah, I have ReSharper installed. Extract interface FTW. Yeah. Could do that. Yep, wrong hub indeed. Uh-huh. There we go. Create game, join game, leave game. Fade, how does the spanT get pushed onto a stack? Oh, no, Fade. The spanT is part of the stack. Oh. That the spanT is it's a value type, so it's allocated on the stack. Oh. Well, how do you allocate something that's already allocated? You just do this. And you hope for the best, right? Stack alloc. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. It's simple. It takes care of itself, right? It's simple. You kill the Batman. Lies, triad. Interesting. So we do that, right? What? It's God, I hate it when I'm at the edge of my knowledge. Signal R typed hub. Okay, what do you do? Facilitating blah blah blah, strongly typed hubs. Yeah. Task, publish history, whisper, blah blah blah. Clients, others publish. Damn it. Okay. Inherit hub T, where T is your interface, defining the messages, right? So publish, history, whisper, message, messages, message. Hub, my hub, async task, publish, wait, others, clients, others that send async, clients, others that publish, client dot whisper. Does, wait, what? Right. I get that. I get that it just uses the method name. That's huh. That huh. You want to drop the async suffix in your methods unless you want them required on the client side. God, signal R is wild. Right. So then instead of create game async, it would be create game. Right. Right. So this would be create game. This would be join game. And this would be leave game. Right. And then we would come into here. And we would do that, and right. Trust me. I know resharper. I'm just huh. Yeah, I know the control R shortcut. I'm just trying to think about this. Could just change the interface methods and bind the interface to the correctly named methods now. Rider is just so much better in general. 4 30-second ads. I get ads, Fade. You know how to avoid ads? You sub. It's pretty simple. Or you get Twitch Turbo. Whatever the hell that service is called. Oh, wait. Why do I have 2 iCrow games? What kind of asshole am I? Hey, if you don't want to sub, I do have a Patreon. All right. Let's take a step back. First of all, get the hell out of here. Come back here. You just won't pay Amazon. Couldn't you just solve that in the interface? I could. I'm wondering. Screwed you 3 separate times this year? Rip. Okay. Oh! 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 God damn it. Okay. See, I use both. Visual Studio and ReSharper. But okay. Okay, this makes sense. Okay, oh, okay. All right, I get it now. Okay. So instead of relying on send async, right? We just do clients.others.publish, clients.client, connection ID target.whisper. Then we can create our own service to work with and use this as our driver for our hub by supplanting and injecting the hub context. Rider isn't free anymore? I don't know. I haven't. But that's also because I have an enterprise license with JetBrains, so I get all their stuff. Yeah, I have a commercial license with them via a partnership. Okay, that's fascinating. Your grandfather into their really old licensing model? Nice. Okay, that's fascinating indeed. So then we would just do... What's going on, Arbovirus? What's going on? Then we would just do that. Arbovirus, thank you for the follow. Welcome into the Omen Den. Hope you enjoy your follow remotes, and I hope you don't mind me figuring out strongly typed hubs like an absolute potato. So then this is all we would do, right? And then we would have... Don't ask when you graduate, that's irrelevant. Same. Okay, so then we do that. And as we come across this side of things, right? So now we have that. Let's go and check client.client.whisper. Okay. Then we come over here into the service. Publish and whisper. Okay. So then we would create the service. Oh, but Okay, so here, my hub, my hub, right? So then I wouldn't be able to do it in this project because I'm not smart enough to figure that shit out. So then we would... Your service can use the iHub context if you need to directly send messages via the hub. Right. But you're creating the wrappers in the hub itself. Right. So, damn it, just link me to your source code. just link me to your source code. Please. I'm an idiot. I'm not very smart. I don't want to play the custom game. This is why I don't work for big companies. What's the Control-C, Control-V Stack Overflow? Yeah, I know, right? That's why I keep saying I'm a goddamn fraud, a potato developer. That's for goddamn sure. Get other people to do this shit for me, and I just pick up the pieces. I can do other things. It's out of my depth. Anyway, so let's get back to this, and let's be a little bit more serious here, right? So group, it's an iCrow game that can be used to invoke methods in all connections in the specified group. Developed for a company with a lot of people so you can get paid to pretend. It's not a MGMT song. We're fated to pretend. Capitalism is bullshit anyway. Yeah, I agree. Actually. Yeah, it is a song. I knew it. I am very smart. Chat, you believe me, right? I am very smart. All right. Anyway, so going back to this, let's see here. So we have this created. We have the strongly typed hub. We have the interface out of here. That's fine. We're doing this. That's fine. So then what we would want to do, I think, is then create our service. So we'll just do services here. And we'll call it something stupid. All right. Pro game service. Neat. Sure. I don't care. And then here we'll just do private iHub context type crow game crow game service. That's a weird way to spell something stupid. Listen. Oracular spectacular. Yeah, I like this element a lot. Hub context. Neato burrito. Private read only. Listen, alright, I don't pretend to be smart. I just pretend to have a vague idea of what's going on. But overall, you can ask the Fade, I'm quite an idiot. Will you just... Alu knows that. God damn it, Fade. Alu just doesn't know what they know. God damn it. Animals and digging up worms. Head is a dictionary, but missing the hash is A. God damn it. Son of a bitch. I hate it here so much. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that so much. God fucking damn it. Wait, what? There we go. Yeah, baby. Okay, so now we got that there. They tend to pretend. Okay, so now that we do that, then what do I do? Chat, what was I doing? I got so wrapped up. I hate it here.